Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're taking a literal factory tour of the Shadowfox Starter Crew. Now, if you have never run a multi-agent AI system before, honestly, you are in the exact right place. We are going to completely upgrade how you work. We're going to take you from prompting like an exhausted typist to managing a sleek AI assembly line like a true CEO. Let's dive in.
So let me ask you something right off the bat. Are you a typist or are you a CEO? I mean, are you totally tired of copy-pasting the exact same context into a chat window like 6 times a day just to patch up generic AI outputs? Because if you're constantly fighting scope drift, where the AI just completely forgets your original instructions and you have to re-explain yourself over and over, you aren't really managing AI. You are just doing data entry.
It is definitely time to step off that prompting treadmill of copy, paste, patch, and repeat. The Shadowfox 3-agent pipeline essentially replaces that exhausting treadmill with a highly specialized assembly line. In this system, each agent does exactly one job, hands it off cleanly, and absolutely zero context is lost between stations. Okay, so before we flip the switch and fire up this assembly line, we have to load the factory's baseline configuration. You define your target niche, your core audience, and your brand voice. And the beauty is, you do this exactly once. You save it, and you literally never have to type it out again. This becomes your absolute foundation.
All right, let's meet your 3 specialized stations. We have Scout, who handles research and finds the angle. We have Ghost, who strictly executes the drafting. And finally, Keeper, who manages the polish and the publish process. Remember, this isn't some open-ended conversational chat window. No way. This is a strict one-way conveyor belt. Zooming in on Station 1, we have Scout. Imagine you toss a messy, half-baked, one-sentence raw idea onto the belt. Well, Scout doesn't write the post. Instead, it processes that raw idea into a highly structured data packet. Out comes your content pillar, your hook, your format, your outline, and a very specific angle. That structured brief is what actually moves down the line. And that brings us to an absolutely critical rule for Station 2. Ghost does not think about the angle, period. Scout already did that. Ghost is here for pure execution. By separating the thinking phase from the writing phase, we completely eliminate that wandering, super generic AI text that we all know and hate. So Ghost receives those exact structured materials moving down the belt, the hook, the pillar, the format, and it seamlessly manufactures the complete draft. It does one thing, and it does it perfectly, before handing off the completed text block to our final station. That final station is Keeper. Keeper takes Ghost Draft and essentially merges it with your baseline voice parameters for a final polish. It tightens up the text, does a rigorous check against your brand voice, and locks in that final CTA or call to action. Notice that it never touches the core substance of the post. It just transforms the draft into a publish-ready asset alongside any manual flags it caught. Now, what happens if things go wrong? Well, the factory has a built-in failsafe. If Ghost's draft ever feels flat, do not try to patch it downstream like you would on a typical prompting treadmill. A flat draft simply means the angle was too generic to begin with, so you just stop the line, loop back to Scout, and fix the angle there. There's also a really vital human quality control element here. Keeper is explicitly programmed to never guess on facts, names, or bold claims. It will flag them for you. As the CEO of this pipeline, your job is to step in, manually verify those specific flags, approve them, and hit publish. So what is the actual result of running this clean, specialized workflow? Well, once this flywheel is warmed up with your voice and a few examples, your total time cost drops to just 5 to 10 minutes. Literally, one raw idea goes in and one publish-ready asset comes out, every single time. And here is the best part. Once you master this 3-agent starter crew, scaling up isn't about suddenly hitting a massive wall of complexity. It's really just adding specialized muscle. You scale naturally right into the 10-agent cathedral engine, adding specialized strategists and a massive orchestration data set to this exact same clean workflow. So I'll leave you with this final thought. Now that you've seen the blueprint, are you going to keep running on that exhausting prompting treadmill? Or are you ready to finally ditch the old chat interface and start orchestrating your very own multi-agent AI pipeline? The factory is yours to build. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will catch you on the next one.